The first network that we're going to set up for our virtual ethical hacking lab environment is a private network, our VB Net 0 in our VirtualBox environment. We're going to set up this network so that we can network between computers, so we can attack from Kali into the Windows and Metasploitable boxes, or see from Windows into the Metasploitable box to try some of our web hacking. So we're going to be able to network in between these machines, but we will not be exposed to the public internet. So that will protect the network that we're on, like our home network, so that we don't accidentally issue a command and flood our own network. It'll also protect us from the outside world so that nobody else hacks into our Metasploitable box, for example. It won't be made public out to the internet most of the time. So open up Oracle VirtualBox. And on a Windows machine, you'll go to File, Preferences. On a Mac, you'll come up to VirtualBox and come down to Preferences. So File, Preferences, or VirtualBox Preferences. And the first network is going to be an internal host-only network. So we're going to come to Network. Then we're going to choose the host-only networks, and we're going to add a new one. And by default, this will give us a name like VBoxNet 0. So we click on VBoxNet 0. That will be our first private or host-only network. And we need to make a few changes to make this handy for us. This gives us a 192.168 address, which is fine. But I'm going to choose to use a 10.0.3, 10.0.3.2 for this adapter. And then we need to change the DHCP server. So we're giving this a custom IP address, this new adapter and network, 10.0.3.2, and we'll change the DHCP server. First of all, we're going to enable it. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, or DHCP, is the way we get an internet address, an IP address, when we connect to our internet service provider, for example. We usually get a DHCP address. Or when you walk into Starbucks or a coffee shop, or a library, and you connect to the wireless network, you get a DHCP address, a dynamic IP address. Well, we're going to change the server address here to 10.0.3.3. So this will be the 10.0.3.3 will be our DHCP server. We'll leave the server mask the same, 255.255.255.0. Then we're going to use a lower address bound. Well, this is going to be for the machines that we create on this network. We'll start at 10.0.3.4, and then we could use all the way up to 254, but I'll say 10.0.3.100. We don't need a whole lot of addresses, and we'll keep them relatively short, so we'll reuse the addresses between 10.0.3.4 and 10.0.3.100. You'll know that you're on your private address network anytime you see a 10.0.3 address when you run your ifconfig in Linux or ipconfig in Windows. It will tell you an internet protocol or IP address of 10.0.3 to let you know that you're on this host-only network. I'm going to click OK here. And let's check those settings for this host-only VBoxNet 0 one more time. So our IPv4 address for the adapter is 10.0.3.2, and our DHCP server is 10.0.3.3, 255.0, and then 10.0.3.4 for the lowest machine address, all the way through 10.0.3.100. That means we can use up to 96 or 97 different addresses. Hit OK and click OK. Once those settings save, we should now be able to change some of our server addresses. So we're going to change our networking for all 5 of the virtual devices that I've configured, and we'll see how to do that in the next lesson.